I was reporting. You've probably seen my reporting by now on the meeting that took place last week at the of the Central Queens Republican Club. You were there. You had a kind of a heated exchange. I described it as with Steve Spear from the Medical Freedom Party, and I asked him if he wanted to comment afterwards. I didn't ask you because you weren't there. You'd already left. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to comment on that exchange and your criticisms. You were criticizing, I think, maybe not only Steve Spear but some other leadership uh, in the Republican Party. I'm not quite sure, but why don't I ask you what are your comments and can you elaborate on what your criticisms are?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna my point of view is just that there are a number of clubs, right, that exist throughout Queens, right, and there's no unity, right. There's a lot of um, there's a lot of these guys have been doing this for a long time, right, and I think that pride comes before the fall, right. I think a lot of what's happening is there's a lot of individuals within the party that are really, they put in the work, but it's about the individual, right? There's no unity among the various clubs, right? You have the Whitestone Republican Club, you have the Ronald Reagan Republican Club in Astoria, you have the Rockaway Republican Club, you have the Central Queens one. There's just a number of them, but never do they all get together. Never do they support candidates 100%, right? Everybody is always bipartisan. Every organization from that I've joined or been a part of, right? Nobody is taking a stand to support a candidate. So how is the Republican Party supposed to win in this environment, right? I'm only running because I am completely disgusted with the way that the city behaved the last 3 years. They're going to blow the city's budget if we don't do something about it. It's serious. And I can't get, I mean, listen, it's not my responsibility, but these clubs are completely not unified, right? And it makes it extremely difficult for candidates coming out of nowhere like myself, right? Because there needs to be more of an inviting environment, right? There's no youth in the Republican Party. It's all, older people. So, the old ways don't work anymore. Right. It's time to get this thing moving. We got to win. We're in trouble.
So you're in the you're running in the 24th district, which is Central Queens. What's your if people want to find out more about you? What's your website?
It's
What's your
JDR for FORNYC.com.
Okay.
JDR for NYC.com.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm running in the 24th. I've lived there. I lived there. I studied there. I'm from the neighborhood. It's just these politicians have been in office for years. I think Gennaro's been there for a long period of time, and he's letting things happen within the district that are unconstitutional at best. But where is he on these issues, right? Like these elected officials think that they're entitled to these votes. They don't even care about the constituents, right? So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because as a parent, as somebody that has been here through the last 3 years where every decision that was made was incorrect. So everyone that's in power for the last 3 years, I'm sorry, but you got to go. You failed. That's it. It's pretty much that simple.
So what happened with you in the primary? What happened with that race?
Well, I didn't get primary, so it didn't matter to me, you know. But it's just not. Listen, I'm a parent. I work full time. Like, I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do primary, honestly. But at the end of the day, there should be more people should be primary. Yes, because if there was more people running in the Republican Party, I'm running in a district that was unopposed. Basically, there was nobody that was going to run if I didn't step up.
So what was your you were saying something at the meeting about having people running against you, right? From Are you a Medical Freedom Party candidate? This is something that when I asked Steve Superior about it, he didn't actually want to comment directly about the dispute that the two of you had, but he did say that you are a Medical Freedom Party candidate and you're listed on the Medical Freedom Party website. So
I'm 100% medical freedom party. Like I love that whole. Listen, what Steve did is amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's just like what I'm trying to do is just wake people up, man. If I have to go to these meetings and shake it up, then that's what I'm going to do, because it can't be business as usual. The old ways do not work. Okay, Samantha Zerka, who was there, who lost in her primary, she got 150 votes. You're going to tell me that in all of the campaigning, all of the door knocking, all of the palm cards, all of the and only 1,000 people came out to vote in the primary? Something doesn't seem correct to me. And the lady that won, she knocked on 0 doors, but she's the sister of the guy that runs the GOP in the Bronx. Like, that's what I'm saying. None of this makes any sense to me. What's going on, right? I think, and I'm not against Republicans. I am a Republican. That's not what it's about. But the corruption throughout the city is absolutely insane. And if I have to stand up and I have to fight my friends and yell and scream, then I'm going to do it, because I think we have to wake up, you know?
So what do you want to see happen exactly? You're running as Republican, Conservative, and Medical Freedom Party. Is that right?
Medical Freedom Party, Mad as Hell Party, and Parent Party.
Okay. All right. So what do you want to see happen here?
Honestly, I think the party needs to be unified. I think all the clubs need to be completely unified. There's old wounds in some of these clubs that are very divisive, right? I mean, some of the personalities have been around for a long time. These older guys that have been doing this for quite a long time, they have a nasty taste in their mouth. This is a dirty game, right? They're not very inviting or nice to each other anymore. So when that happens, right, for the sake of the party, for the sake of the city, people really have to think about their roles and their leadership. The party needs youth, right? The party needs new blood. Not saying that everyone didn't do their work. Trust me, everybody worked their butts off. But what's happening right now in the party in Queens, it's fractured, and it needs unification. That's the most important thing. That's the only thing I care about. And we all need to unify with each other. And there's a lot of personalities, and it makes it impossible.
What would the mechanism for unifying be, though? What would that look like?
Well, first of all, if the candidates show up to club meetings, whether or not we are scheduled to speak or not scheduled to speak, then we need to be recognized. Okay? If I'm going to a meeting, right, or anybody for that matter that's running, whether it be Marilyn, or whether it be Danielle, or whether it be Bernard Chow, or whether it be James Pye, Danny Mayo, doesn't matter. If they and they need to be recognized and given an opportunity to speak, and the clubs need to attend each other's events. Like, we need to show up in mass in each borough. Like, every club needs to go to every club meeting. Every meeting needs to be scheduled on a date when not another meeting is going on, right? And then the people that go attend the clubs, like, I just feel like these people, they show up to the clubs, but they have nothing to do when they leave the club. Right? You go to a Republican club, obviously you need to know that somebody's got to win. But then you leave the club, you're like, well, what can I do? Right? Like people really, and I'll tell you, the most important thing is this voter integrity issue that's going on. Right? Because we need poll workers. We need, people to watch what these guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of corruption, but people need to not just show up to these meetings, but they need to get behind these candidates. Forget if you don't like me, then I don't care. Don't help me. But there's a lot of people out there that need people to knock on doors for them, to do all of the things that are necessary for our candidates to win. And you got to give them money. So you got to give them some money.
I mean, at the meeting last week, a lot of candidates spoke. It seemed like a pretty open forum where every candidate who showed up was able to speak and say their piece. And
yeah, that's because Danny Mayo runs the nice meeting. Danny Mayo's got the best club in Queens. I mean, in terms of allowing people to speak and putting people together, like that is by far Danny Mayo has the best club for that. But try to do that at the other ones. You know what I mean? It's like there's too many personalities, there's too much going on. But I just want us to be unified. That's my intention. That's really all I want is us to be unified. And sometimes you gotta shake people awake sometime. You know, that's all.
you sound much more conciliatory with other people who are in the room now than you did at the time at that meeting.
Yeah, but you know, we're at war. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they vaccinated people. They made people lose their jobs. They're about to blow the budget. They're bringing people over here and paying their entire life while the constituents in the city are suffering. Right? They're about to do congestion pricing. They're about to do local law 97, which they're going to make everyone change their boilers and their stoves to electric. And people don't even understand where electricity comes from. People don't even understand that the electrical grid can't even support this. But the average constituent is going to be hit with thousands and thousands of dollars after our livelihoods were threatened, after our children were forced to get experimental RNA injections. Like, as far as I'm concerned, whoever was in power during this time, there's no amnesty. I'm sorry. Nobody gets to keep their job. Okay? Zero. And that's the reality of it. These people need to understand that they're going to be held accountable. And us, right? This is Queens. This is Queens, New York. There is no other borough like this in the world. They messed around with the wrong people. Like, it's not just me that's pissed off. All right? There's a lot of people that are pissed off. And if I get in office, I promise you that exactly what I did at that meeting is what I'm going to do in City Hall and in front of every single person that was responsible and didn't honor their oath over the last 3 to 4 years.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say on this? Anything else you'd like to say to people in Queens or other New Yorkers about what's happening going forward with your race?
Yeah, I just want to say that the old ways really don't work, right? It's time for us to get together, right, as a borough, and we have to really talk strategy because there are some things that work better than others. Social media is the most important thing that we need to really handle. Right? And everyone that is involved and goes to the meetings needs to help all the candidates fundraise right now. $10 is it. You, your friend, I mean, it's not that much, but go and help. That's it. And then go poll watch and make sure that they don't steal the election.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me to comment a little bit. And I hope I'll talk to you again down the line.
Yeah, I hope so. And listen, I just want to tell Steve I love him. Okay, so it's fine. I don't hate him. We're everything is cool. It's just listen, we have an issue we have to address. That's all. And sometimes you just gotta upset the apple cart a little bit. That's all.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, right. It was nice talking to you.
Okay, likewise. Enjoy the holiday.
You too. Happy 4th.
All right, happy 4th.
Bye.